Hey Amy, hello to everyone who's in here. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up what's going on. Make sure my phone's on do not disturb. Um, Sorry I'm a little bit late. I've had a really busy day today, really good day today. Um, but I just had to quickly go and get myself ready before I came back on live because whew, it's been a lot. But how are you guys doing? Let me know who's in the live today. We virtually hanging out. Well, we're not all locked down, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm just going to give some time for some more people to come in whilst I share around the live. Hi Cheyenne, how you doing? Let me know how you guys are doing today, and let me know where you're actually commenting from, and what's going on where you are. Are you locked down completely? Are you able to go out? What's going on in your location at the moment? Let me go to my Facebook. I have to look in. Oh, thank you, Amy. I literally just flung on the top. I'm really not trying to be in overdo mode at the moment. I don't have the energy. So I've been in my natural phase again. You saw me go through this phase a few months ago, and I was hardly wearing makeup. Well, I didn't wear makeup for the whole month. Now I just can't be bothered. Why can I not log into my Facebook for my thingy? So where are you guys commenting from today? And what type of topics would you like me to actually talk about today? Because this is going to be an open space for us all to just engage. There were a few things that I did want to be able to address, but let me know, what types of things would you like me to talk about today? This space is for you guys. Why can I not do this? Why can I not log in? Hi Poetry Alchemist, how you doing? Let me know what you'd like me to actually talk about today. Because today's going to be a bit of a free flow. This is just going to be an opportunity for us to just speak about whatever. There's nothing on the agenda. You can ask questions. You can suggest topics. What would you like to speak about today? Why can I not log into my Facebook? That's what I want to know. Maybe if I do it from here. What is going on? I swear, technology has not been my friend recently. It's been a lot to be dealing with. But let me just touch on this lockdown thing for a second. Because you do know that they've worded it specifically, right? You're not actually locked down. You are actually free to move. It's just how they actually word it. They advise you to stay in your homes, but that's advice. This is why I say this is a psyop.
This is Sharni on Selection All Day.
Someone said to talk about the spring equinox. Springtime. Well, yes. And it's interesting. Let me actually bring up the chart. Maybe a long thing for me to actually bring it up. But it's interesting that California has just gone down because for this new moon chart on the 24th, Jupiter is going to be conjunct Mars, which is going to blow a lot of things out of proportion and going to bring a lot of things into action very quickly. Things are going to move very, very quickly, especially as the sun is in Aries. But I will say, from a personal level, this time, and I've been saying, if you guys have caught my video, my last video that I did about setting up your online businesses, this is the best time to be alive right now. And right now, Aries energy is all to do with identity, self-identity, and how it can express it to the world, right? How it expresses its self-identity to the world. Right now, we're going through a lot of changes within our own identity of who, like the journey. Remember I said that this whole Jupiter retrograde was gonna really begin to see you was going to beginning to see yourself from a different perspective and learn the truth of who you truly are, or who you've always been but not allowed yourself to kind of acknowledge or accept. So if I use myself as an example, I'm now transitioning into the whole kind of business world, or the corporate world. Now, I've worked a corporate job before, and I was actually speaking to someone earlier today, and I was like, I've literally probably collectively altogether worked a corporate job for about 6 months. I cannot do corporate work. It's just not, it's not for me. I have to be doing something that I'm passionate about. And this Jupiter retrograde gave me an opportunity to be able to see how I could utilize my passions and bring it into the business world, so I could still create a spot for myself. So when I think of, like, and it's so weird because there's a lot of things that I have forgotten about myself, of achievements, of Nikki says corporate work is slavery. It is, but there is a lot of keys that you can get from there as well. So don't knock it. You can get an insight into how to actually build an effective business. But you know, I actually wish I actually took a load of that information from before. But utilizing all of the experience I had, in fact, I actually have had longer jobs, but I don't really consider them corporate jobs. You know, customer service and stuff. I had a lot of background in sales and customer service for a good few years before I started to go full time into music. And I started doing music full time, sessioning, being an artist, playing. Some of you may not know, I'm actually a musician as well. My whole family is musical. So we were all going out and doing a lot of work together, playing at different churches. That's actually how I made a lot of my income for for a good few years, until I left the church, and then had to find a new direction for myself of what made sense to me. But coming back into the whole Jupiter retrograde, like, you're beginning to see, okay, there may have been like, for example, just using myself as an example again, I have been afraid of the corporate world simply because of imposter syndrome. Literally, it's just imposter syndrome, almost feeling like, oh, there's an image, there's a fit, there's a model of how you need to be in this world, and I don't feel like I match up to that. I'm literally wild, okay? Like, you guys haven't been able to see. Poacher Alchemist said millennials and Generation Z capitalism is the death of our infrastructure. Pluto in Capricorn, that's exactly what that is. And we're here to break it. I'm Pluto in Scorpio and literally transform it. But you guys haven't seen this side of me in the last few years because I've gone through a little bit of a maturing, but I was a Skittles freak. I have done all of the colors that could be in the rainbow in my hair. That was my thing. I've always been very colorful. I've always just been very out there, and that doesn't fit very well in the corporate world. Like, I want to be able to be free. And for those who know me from my music days, I used to people actually thought it was a tattoo, but it wasn't. I actually drew it on every day, eyeliner. But I used to draw a music note right on my cheek, and that was my trademark. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't go out without it. Literally, I would have that all the time because that meant so much to me and my journey. Um, so hey Keisha, hey Logical Mermaid. So going into a corporate world with that type of image, having crazy hair colors, crazy coming into work bright purple, bright neon. That would be me, right? And that doesn't fit for my image. And that's actually why I'm going through this rebrand of the True Self project, actually, because I feel like this professional image is so unrealistic, and it's an ideal that everyone's trying to achieve, but again, it's so unrealistic. Because it doesn't allow you or any flexibility to actually be yourself. You're having to be in this box of this image of what a professional or a business owner or an entrepreneur or a CEO has to be. And we're actually all playing imposters off of each other. Not realizing that's what we're actually doing. We're all struggling with imposter syndrome. Like, jump on LinkedIn. All you need to do is jump on LinkedIn and see the amount of imposter syndrome that is going on. I guess because I'm an intuitive and obviously I'm a Scorpio moon, I see straight through a lot of bullshit. Like, and people posting up and it's like, actually, you're not very confident. You're not very secure. You may not actually know what you're talking about. But you can pick these things up, and it's like, if people was to be a bit more real about who they are, what gifts they have, what talents they have to offer the world. Many people don't actually know that. They're just fitting into a mold of something that actually works. So what's happening right now? Everyone's jumping into being an astrologer or being an oracle or a healer or anything in these types of spiritual type fields. Like, everyone's trying to jump into this because they've seen over the last decade, specifically over the last 5 years, I'd say, more astrologers get more recognition and recognize that it's easy to kind of create an astrology business, or it's easy to become a reader and start reading cards. But at the same time, it's like, this is where the authenticity will come in, because yes, this is the trend, but what do you personally have to offer the world? Like, you may be a healer, but you may not have, you may be able to heal the world in different ways. Like, it doesn't have to be in the way that you've been presented of what typical healing is supposed to be. So let me go back to comments. Rona does bald-headed. Oh shit. I don't even want to say the word. The word is banned off of my channel. I actually need to find a new word to put to cover up the word that shall not be named. You guys know what I'm talking about with what's going on right now. But obviously YouTube will kind of penalize me for actually saying the name. But this stuff is just wild. LinkedIn is a CV for everyone's dream job. Everyone is a public speaker. Everyone is a public speaker. Everyone's a consultant. Everyone's a coach. And it's like, it's just become wild. Like, these are the easiest jobs to be able to get into. But it's like, people needs to recognize that there is so much more that comes to just being a coach or being a consultant. Because I've noticed this myself, like, as I've gone and I've been doing my research and been exposing myself to different people and different resources and different pieces of information, you recognize that not everyone has the gift for what they're actually talking about. So you can go into digital marketing and probably know all of the jargon and all of the technical terms, but there's actually a gift and a talent that comes with being able to market yourself or market someone else because you need to be able to tap into being able to communicate your message effectively. Do you even know what your message is? If you don't know these messages, or from a personal, deep, in-depth level, like what your message is also connected to your life purpose, right? What is it that you want the world to know, like, and why do you actually want the world to know this? So there's a lot more, and this is even when you link it into astrology and those that are doing oracles and stuff like that. There's more to than just being an astrologer to be able to read planets or read placements and read aspects. There's more to just being a tarot reader, just to be able to read cards and notice symbols and, you know, learn the meanings and interpretations for these symbols and being able to recite that. Like, it's so much more than that. And I never really used to understand exactly what that meant until recently. Well, not even recently, in the last, I'd say, probably a year and a half. I would notice, and I'd notice it through my clients, because they would be like, okay, well, what I get from you is not what I get from someone else. And I'll be like, I would be confused, because genuinely I came into this world very naive. I came in naive to the fact that everyone was actually trying to be about what they said there was about, and everyone actually had a level of in-depth knowledge about what they say they're actually talking about. And I realized that that wasn't actually the case. And it was like I was doing more, like I felt like I was working harder to actually be what I'm trying to be than the people that I was looking up to further ahead than myself. And I was like, what? Something's not right here. Something's really not right. And I even remember watching a video a few weeks ago of a tarot reader. No, it wasn't. No, so basically, a YouTuber had a reading with a tarot reader, and she had filmed it. So, you know, she's given the reading. She's basically saying, okay, yeah, King of Cups, this, that, whatever, cool. But then she wasn't actually saying what it meant. Like, so you're saying, okay, so there's so this card can represent Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Okay, but what does that actually mean for me? Like, how can I utilize this information? And then people get gassed, like, oh my gosh, they're telling me about myself, but what have they told you? Like, what have you actually been told? What, that there's Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn energy around you? How do you utilize this information in a very practical level? Like, what can you do? What can you leave this session and implement with this information now? And so I realized that people wasn't able to do that because they wasn't actually going on the journey alongside using the tool. Because it's so easy to jump into something, to say, for example, astrology. You learn astrology and automatically you want to start doing readings for people, for other people. And it's like, no, maybe, and this is another thing, for anyone who wants to be studying astrology or anything, I know I'm going all over the place. I said this was going to be a bit of a free live, so bear with me. When it comes, yes, you may be drawn to astrology. You may be drawn to oracle cards, to tarot cards, to, you know, crystals and healing and all this type of stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be a healer and you're going to be an oracle and you're going to be a tarot reader and you're going to be an astrologer. A lot of the time we need to learn how to utilize these tools for ourselves, because we're so quick to go to other people and be like, yeah, I want to tell you about yourself. No, not everyone is gifted to be able to work like this. And I don't put myself on some high pedestal. I say that all the time. But I do recognize that there is a skill that comes with these sciences, and the skill also needs to be applied with strong intuition, clairvoyancy, clairsentience, all of that kind of stuff, with a grounded perception. If you haven't gone through certain or learned how to deal with emotions or learned how to deal with relationships, if you are the person who's always been codependent, if you're the person who's always, and it's not to say that these things, like, you can have flaws, but if you recognize, like, it's about learning to be aware of your flaws and be actively working on them. If that's not where you are, you shouldn't be in a position to be giving out readings to other people, because you'll even, and this is why if you are going to go down this road, I would definitely say get some qualifications in counseling and in therapy, so that you can use that as a foundation when you're using your practice. Because a lot of people are just, doing astrology, doing this, but it's like, where's the psychology that's coming to this? Like psychology is a very strong foundation of astrology. The original basis of astrology, or use of astrology, was for the organization of the psyche. So if you don't actually know how the psyche operates, or how psychology operates, how the mind operates, and how to be able to transmute and overcome certain obstacles within the mind or within the soul, then what are you actually doing with this tool? Like, what is your motive for even going into this? Like, is it just to be seen, to be recognized? Because that's often a thing. It's recognition that we're often looking for. I can be seen now, I can be recognized because I was trying to do this and I didn't get as much recognition in this, and so I can do, like, me going into astrology. I didn't go into astrology because and even when I started doing readings, in fact, let me even speak about that. So I started studying astrology and oracles for myself, right? I wanted to understand myself. I didn't go into this with the intention of even becoming a coach. I didn't come into this with the intention of becoming an astrologer or anything. This is often why I often struggle to even, my leg is dead. I even struggle to use that title sometimes. It's kind of a cringe to me, because I know that I didn't come into this with the intention of even creating what I created. I came into astrology and into tarot and oracle spirituality so that I could really find myself. Like, I really needed clarity. I needed I needed to find source for myself, because I'd come from religion. I'd come from a place where I've been exposed to the greatest leaders, and with some, and I still respect them till this day. You'll never ever hear me disrespect some of the leaders that were actually very instrumental in my life. And they are very well recognized and very well known, and their gifts speak for themselves. I will never take that away from them. However, I felt that it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And this is why I actually say that the conscious community and the church is exactly the same thing. There's no difference. We haven't come out of the church, because with the same way that prophets are using their or misusing their gifts in the church. God told me to tell you to sow a seed. God never told you nothing. Who tell you to go tell me that I need to go sow £1,000 or £10,000 that I don't even have? What God is that? I would like to speak to him, please, because I'd like to see what bank account he thinks I'm supposed to be drawing out of. Like, these are real questions, right? I don't understand. But then we use these same tactics in the conscious community. Like, as soon as you see someone, oh yes, you have a strong purpose in this world. You're a light worker. You're a healer. All of those buzzwords, like. We still utilize the same thing. They use the same thing in church. You're meant to be a prophet. You're meant to be an apostle. You're meant to be this. And it's like, Okay, that they very well may be picking up on something. But how do I actually utilize this in real life? Like, how do I utilize this in real life? Like, how do I heal myself in real life? How do I overcome? Because it's all good to just say, go pray, you know? Pray and believe, have faith, you know? But then we still do it here. Oh, the universe has got me. The ancestors has got me. Oh, Ganesha's got me. We're doing the same thing over and over again, playing out the same scripts over and over and over again. Yeah, someone literally just said the same thing. Same play, same story, different stages and scripts. Like, it's literally the same thing. And until we actually retreat, and this is what's happening right now, this whole system is crashing, right? Crashing. And I'm here for it, because now this is where authenticity can come. I've already spoken about like Pluto and Capricorn, and like what's happening with like literally in the system right now as we speak. But if we look at it from a business perspective and what's going to happen with businesses, this is amazing. Because you know what Saturn in Aquarius actually means? It means that all of these people that have gone online, created YouTube accounts and blown up off no talent, or people like Kim Kardashian, or who else is talentless? Like all of these people that feel like they can just get up off of their looks, or you know, yeah, mainly like just aesthetics and this image that you feel that people are trying to go for, that's gone. Now is the time where authenticity is what is going to get you forward, right? All of these fake businesses and stuff, like those are going to start to get exposed, like one by one. Who else is talentless? Literally. I know I have no chill sometimes. But literally, it's like now is the time where you're gonna have to create some real content, right? It's no good. It's beyond the stage of just vlogging, because there is a difference between vlogging and a content creator. You have to be creating content. You talking about your life is not content, especially if no one really gives a shit about it. Like, that's not content. Like, so now people are going to be forced to actually really think about their brands, and this is what this whole spring equinox is actually going to bring. Even look at it in light with everything that's happening right now with the C word. You're going to see like a lot of rebrands starting to come in now, because we're having to shift, we're having to adjust. And again, what did I say about the sun, about Aries? It's about identity. We're stepping into a new identity, right? Or true identity. Because now you're really going to know like if things are actually working or not. Like, this is why I was saying that this is also the time of the changing of the guards, because the underdogs, the ones that's been the underdogs and actually been doing their stuff and actually been, you know, like been on the authenticity and the integral journey, those are the ones that are going to start rising now. And you're seeing all of the big cats start to fall off. Jupiter in Capricorn, this is literally where Zeus starts falling, right? This is where the people who thought they were okay, they thought they were secure, they thought, yeah, like even the conscious community, because the last decade has been probably the best time for this whole conscious community, because or particularly again the last 5 years, because of this whole shift of black consciousness and the awareness of black consciousness and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a thing where I literally just saw a comment and it just wiped my whole train of thought out of my brain. I told you guys, this is what happens to me sometimes. Literally, if someone can remind me of what I was just saying, I'll go back to it. But I'm gonna go through the comments and see what is being said. Tion says, I've been so lost in life. I randomly came across your life. Maybe it's a sign. Hello, love. Oh, hello, my love, and welcome. Like, do you know what? It's funny because today I've been having a lot of messages of people saying like, wow, like I really have been helping them, especially in this period. I just aim to be able to combat the noise, so to speak, of all of the craziness that is going on out there. Like, it's very unnecessary. It's shifting us off of our square. And one thing I will actually say as well, the sun in Aries, so this is a time when we're meant to be taking actions. This is a time when we're meant to be coming out and being like, Happy New Year, like I'm ready for the new year, new beginnings, new sprouts, new projects, new seeds, and things just moving in a completely different direction. I'm sure a lot of you can feel the energy right now, and I'm excited. I've got so much Venus trines coming up for me, and I can see it literally playing out in my business, as Venus is transiting my 7th house in Taurus. I'm in my Venus return right now, so business partnerships and stuff is just really becoming lit at the moment, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. This is why I've been planning for the last 2 years to, like, because I knew these transits were going to come up, and I really wanted to make sure that I was ready. And so this time, even coming into the sun in Aries, this is like, go. This is like, are you ready to go? Like, are you ready to go? And this is why I'm saying now it's time to go digital, go online, start creating content. There's already a lot of channels benefiting from this whole thing right now, because people are just consuming content, so they're more inclined to be influenced to your services, all of this type of stuff. Like, now is the time for you to build yourself. There's so much. Don't let them tell you that there's no jobs. The amount of jobs that I'm seeing pop up about work from home and stuff. Oh, so you lot couldn't do this before? This is what I'm saying. There's so much more opportunities. Those who are mums and are struggling because they can't, they're struggling to find opportunities that can flex between their motherly duties, and they're actually being able to go out and go work. You're gonna find this we're gonna become a lot more easier for you. A lot more easier for you. So we just need to learn to just capitalize on what's happening right now, because now is the time to go. Like, now is the time to really show up. This is now literally the time where it's like, okay, this is why I came here. I came here to be doing this right now, right here. Like, it's time. It's literally time. Let me see. So, Beamers, no, it's not. Stop eating avocado toast. Oh gosh. I'm a maker. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works going forward. Yeah. Well, you know, you can when you say maker, you do clothing, right? Is it clothing, or is it what type of making are you talking about? But even just going online, utilizing more online platforms, especially Shopify and Amazon, because Amazon, of course, is the biggest e-commerce platform, but Shopify actually has has a whole integrated system that is literally that you can just print out your stuff, send off your stuff. Like, it's a whole system for you actually sending out products, which I find a lot of platforms haven't really capitalized on that aspect of things. But just going online, if it's bespoke stuff like Etsy, where do you go? Like, you go to Etsy for stuff that are really bespoke. Like, really utilizing these platforms. Stop just advertising on Facebook, right? Stop just advertising on Instagram. Like, that's why your business is not growing. You have to be able to create a marketing strategy that will be able to incorporate more platforms so that you can be exposed to different people. Makes it hard to stand out for real. Yes, it really does. Poetry Alchemist says, me, an online tutor seeing a boom in interactive learning. Wealth is manifested unexpected forms. Listen, online tutoring. Like, there's so much opportunity. And even, I'm sure there would be even opportunities for you to, say, for example, because I know that there's a lot of requests for like English teachers and stuff like that. So I wonder if like more foreign countries, because I know like Dubai has like a scheme where they're trying to get people to come over and like teach and stuff like that. So I wonder if there's more foreign countries that are creating initiatives to try and get more online tutors that can teach English and stuff like that, or teach like whatever. Like there's so much opportunities around. We just need to be able to look for it. But as an online tutor or anyone who's got looking at your business, what type of digital courses can you create out of your business? So for example, you make jewelry, so create a digital course on how to make jewelry alongside your business, and that becomes an opportunity for you to create residual income alongside your business. Graphic design, create some digital courses alongside that. Anyone who's looking at your stuff and is like, oh, I would like to get into that too, like you can literally cater for them too. Create content on graphic design, like how to use Photoshop, how to use Adobe. Utilize YouTube. A lot of people are scared of YouTube. YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google. So think about it. When you go to look up something to do, like say for example, DIY, you go to YouTube, right? YouTube videos, or how to fix something, or like anything, like YouTube comes up. But the good thing about this right now, and obviously because YouTube is owned by Google, your searches can also show up in Google searches, and that's what's actually happening to me now. My searches are starting to come up on Google, and so I'm starting to have traffic come directly from Google whilst people actually type in their search terms. That's the position that you want to be in, and I'm telling you, that is the position you need to be in going forward, because you're going to see going forward some very interesting changes coming to the internet very fast, and you need to be in a position. Why I've been saying, guys, get online, get online, get online. This is not a joke. Like, this is a serious like public service announcement to get online, because they, especially for those who have businesses, they're now moving into a position where Alexa, or the algorithm, is going to be deciding. So say for example, if you do a Google search right now and you look up decorators, Google will show up a good range of products or service or people that would be able to, because they've been able to optimize their SEO, they are the ones that will be able to be shown first. Now you're going to be in a position where you're literally going to be like, Alexa, I need a decorator, and the algorithm is going to decide who they're going to send. Now you need to be favorable to the algorithm, which is going to be a lot of it's going to be very challenging for a lot of people who are rebellious like myself. But I feel like I'm still trying to find the fine line, as much as I'm still trying to make sure my channel is quote unquote commercially viable. I'm still going to talk my truth, and I'm going to find other ways to be able to speak more of my truth, so I don't have to be censored and penalized through my channel, because my channel is also a part of my business. So, you know, you're gonna find you're gonna have to be in a position where your brand is so sharp and your brand is so not even niche, it's so needed that people are literally just going to come directly to you. So if anyone listens, or if anyone is in the digital, or listens to anything about entrepreneurship, or when you think of digital marketing, who's the first person that comes to your head if you're in digital marketing? Gary Vee. So Gary Vee has been able to create a presence for himself within the industry of digital marketing. And so now, like, a lot of people will literally, this is how he will get his business, because he strategically positioned his brand in a way that people are just like, I need Gary Vee. Get me to Gary Vee. Like, you know, you need to be in a position where your brand is that hot. Like, people are talking about your brand. And so how are you going to be in a position for people to actually be talking about your brand to a way where the algorithm is so favorable for you that it's just sending you all of that traffic? Like, this is the stuff behind the walls that a lot of people don't want to get grounded down and try to understand. But this is how business works. This is how the internet now works, and is going to be working. And we can't complain about it and be like, oh, no one's buying from me. Now you need to figure out why you need a marketing strategy. So someone says the best ones are passionate and really intuitive. Of course they are. You have to be compassionate to really do that type of work, and patient, because it takes a lot of patience to I've had some very stubborn clients sometimes that have literally tried to gaslight me whilst I'm like, you've come to me to do your reading, yet you want to tell me what the reading means. Are you okay? Like, why did you not take the reading yourself? Why did you not read yourself? And then be like, I'm trying to tell them what's actually going on, and then they'll be like, oh no, it's not that, and then they'll be like, what? And then after a while, I'll be like, oh yeah, it was that. Okay, cool. Like, confusion. Like, but still having the patience to be able to deal with that effectively, and not just be like, oh my gosh, because really that's trauma that's allowing someone to play like, or play up like that. So are you even aware of these things, or how to actually deal with these types of things? I've had plenty of clients that have had panic attacks whilst I've had a conversation with them, because obviously there's a lot of things that are coming to the surface, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, how do I process it? Do you know how to bring someone down in a panic attack? Because and this is, I'm talking to the coaches and the readers and the astrologers and everyone who's going into this field. Like, do you know how to be able to do that? Because if you don't, then you could be putting your clients in injustice, in a very dangerous position. Like, what are you going to do if someone starts panicking whilst you're giving them a reading? Like, do you know mindfulness-based stress reduction techniques that you can utilize with them? Breathing techniques, quick meditations and grounding meditations. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to administer that to your clients? Because these are necessary things that need to be, like, thought of when you're doing these types of things. Funny story, I actually got back into witchcraft after the first wave of Rona. Interesting. So what are you saying, that you started doing more rituals, like manifestation? Like, what have you been doing, Poetry Alchemist? Hi Keisha, how are you? Hold on 1 second, guys. Stay there, just my door. Hello? Whew. Sorry about that, guys. You know when you hate when people just turn up at your house and don't even tell you that they're turning up? No, it doesn't work. I'm that type of person. Let me go back through the comments. For real, like they ain't talked to their cards first. No relationship with them. Like, this is what I'm saying. I really can't stand this is why I actually struggle a lot to create content sometimes, because I'm Mercury in Taurus, and obviously I'm Scorpio moon and rising. There's a lot of intensity there's a lot of, like, I really go really deep with my research, like, and the type of information that I expose myself to be able to create the type of content that I create. And I feel like I can't create mediocre content, and I know what mediocre content is when I see it, which is why I don't watch it. So I feel like if I'm doing, like, I have to literally go so in depth and making sure that I'm giving as much value as possible. Like, this is why I struggled on the last workshop that I did. So the prison of the workshop, those of you that was on it, you guys understand. So I actually planned for that to be no more than 2 hours, and it almost ended up 3 hours, because I'm trying to be like, okay, I need them to understand this and understand this and understand this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's still more that I want them to understand, but I can't do that in this video. It's already 3 hours. And that stuff brings stress to me, because I really genuinely want to be able to get you guys to understand as much as possible. Like, if you've had a session with me, you understand how much information I've had clients literally write pages upon pages, like 9 pages of writing of notes, just from having a session with me, because I want to make sure that they fully understand what I'm trying to express to them. They fully understand their chart if I'm doing their chart. They fully understand their business if I'm doing their business or marketing strategy. They just fully understand. So I really struggle to just be able to just do this. Is why today I was just like, right, just do a free fall, because, you know, like, it's not every day dig deep and create like in-depth content every day. So same play. Yep, it's duplicated in every community. Yeah, Nick, we was just talking before this live. Like, it's not just the church or the religious community or the conscious community. It's every community. Every, like, it's funny, because I think the last year, this Uranus retrograde last year, I think that fucked up everyone. Everyone was just like, fuck this community. Fuck off. Let me do my own thing. And it was just weird seeing everyone's timeline messages, like, literally they're just so ticked off with everything, and I was just like, this is the time. But this is why I'm so excited for this time going forward, because we're literally coming into a place where we're connected with all of our like-minded people, like our tribe, our actual tribe. That's what Saturn in Aquarius is going to begin to bring to us. And I'm excited, because I've already been seeing it happen already. Like, the last 2 weeks in particular, it's like all of the right people just coming in alignment into my space that I need to get shit done. And I'm like, where have you been all my life? Why am I only just meeting you now? Why why have we only just been exposed to this group? Like, stuff like that. It's like, wow, this is amazing. But time is now. Like, there's always timing. There's always divine timing. Like, it's not always about when we want things to be. Like, always remember, a delay is not a denial. Things, just because things are delayed, like, you know, you may be in a position, because I've been in a position for a long time where I've just been like, there's no one that I resonate with. Like, there's no one that I can really speak to about the depths of my experiences. And I remember in 2013, which was the beginning of this next shift that I had. And this is when really my all of my spiritual abilities began to come online. Began to come online. I remember being at university. This is an interesting. This is interesting just going back here. Being at university. So I remember my first week of university, and I've moved to Birmingham. This is when I just moved to Birmingham. So I'm in a completely different area. I don't know anyone. Everyone's accents is just weird. And I'm just like, okay. But then obviously you're getting to know each other in your uni and stuff. Sorry, I'm just remembering that I've got two split audiences. So when I say uni, that means university. That's how us British people talk over here. We cut down everything. We never say a word all the way through. So I'm getting to know people, and then out of the blue, how did it start actually? I just remember being in my room and I saw a vision just appear in front of me, and it was of someone that I knew. And I just remember that they were actually in danger at that time, and I literally saw the situation playing out like in real time. They were actually saw they were in a church, and I was seeing smoke and all this stuff. And then I remember calling them instantly, and I was like, "Where are you?" It's like, "Oh, I'm in a church at a funeral, some Catholic funeral. It feels weird." I was like, "Get the fuck out! I don't know where you are. You need to get the fuck out." And he's like, "What?" Now, because I'd never been that type of person, you know, to kind of speak with that type of urgency, or even be so in tune with my gift. Or in fact, I was always in tune with my giftings. I just didn't trust my giftings, which is why I feel like it took me so long for it to just smack me in my face and just be like, yo, are you gonna accept this? And this was this experience. So yeah, that happened. And then I just remember a very intense fire came across me. And in church, for those of you who are from a church background, they speak about it as the baptism of a baptism of fire. Obviously, that's Kundalini. That's your Kundalini energy basically surging. But they call it a baptism of fire, Pentecostal fire. So, you know, when you're just, oh, give me that Pentecostal fire. Yeah, you guys know about that one. I'm sure if Nikki's still in this live, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, that whole thing happened for me. And then I just remember the next day I couldn't stop. And this happened for a period of, I think, 2 weeks. Every single day I was seeing. I just see Nikki. I was just seeing everything. Like, it was just so wild. Like, I would see people. Like, it got so bad to the point where so it started off in my dorm room, and we was just all sitting down having a conversation, and then there's a Statarian songs. Oh shit. Memories. So yeah, we're all sitting down having a conversation, and I'm like just very withdrawn. I'm just observing everything, not really speaking. And that's something I used to do a lot. People thought I was weird for it, but yeah, I observe a lot. And then I was just like, this person, this happened in your childhood and this is why, and then it led to this, and then now you're in a position where you literally around the whole room, and then everyone was just bawling and like, what? I was crying, confused, like, what the fuck just happened here? Like, how the fuck we just got taken up by a tornado and it didn't even, like, what the fuck? And so that's how this whole thing of, it's not everyday deep Nams, like my nickname is actually Nams. That's something that people always used to say, like, it's not everyday deep Nams, because I always used to be the deep one, and always seeing so deep. So then it got to a point where people started warning they started warning people as they were like bringing their friends over and stuff, and be like, oh, this is Naomi, she may see something, like, and then I'll be like, you're a dancer, why are you not dancing? Like, why are you suppressing your creative talents? Like, and literally that's what it would be like. And I remember when that happened to me, it was a very, very scary experience, because my gifts got turned on 1,000%. There was no in between, there was no resting, it was just all the way up. And I felt very alone. I felt very isolated because I didn't feel normal. I felt like literally, that's so Raven. Like, like I'm. Why am I so different? Like, why am I always the one? Like, why can I not just have a normal experience? Why do I always have to see? And since that time, there's never been a time when I have not seen. How Logical Memory said, how are you not a projector? Yeah, what did you say I was again? Because I can't remember. Obviously, I'm not into human design. But it's interesting because, like, I feel like I have very interesting projective abilities. But more on an astral level, but not more on a physical level. So it's interesting about that. But from that day, it affected me a lot. Manifesting generator, that's it. It affected me a lot because I literally felt like I wasn't human, I wasn't normal. And so even going into the conscious community and getting lost in that whole narrative of, you're a god, you're an alien, everything other than human, that was great for me, because I was like, well, I don't feel human. I feel like the last person who can be human right now. But it's, again, like, I had to learn how to sit with this. I had to learn, this is what actually took me through my cocoon. Like, this became my little cocoon journey, because I had to learn how to be okay with being me. How to be okay with knowing that you see all these things and everyone else may not understand. Knowing it's okay that you will see all these things and they will lock you up in a mental institution, and they will try and discredit you, and they will try and demonize you. And you still have to be yourself. And I feel like that has been a very, very instrumental journey for me, that I'm now only recognizing that even though I may not go through, like, we will not all go through exactly the same experiences, but there are ways that you can kind of relate and empathize with certain people's experiences just by the types of experiences that you can go through. I mean, there's so many things that can connect to some of the things that happened to me. Someone said, "Ooh, child, the floodgates opened." Yeah, I really had to learn that, and this is why I really want to inspire authenticity, because I've had to learn how to be authentic when really it was safer for me not to be. It was safer for me to fall in the program, be everything that everyone else expected me to be, whether that's Christian, whether that's still being an artist, whether that's not going into astrology, whatever it is, because everyone said so much, so everyone's tried to control me in so many different ways, but I've had to literally just be like, I'm the controller of my own life, and I can make these own decisions for me, and I have to, like, even in my speaking and the things that I say, like, the switch that you notice in my channel, like, because I started my channel like, hi guys, I started my channel, started doing like my regular content, and then obviously whatever happened, and then it was just like, fuck this, I'm just gonna say what I need to say. And literally that's the vibe that I've literally just been on, like, I'm just gonna say what I need to say, like, and that's what my Saturn return has been teaching me, as I'm in my Saturn return at the moment. It will hit me exactly in January, and I'm just learning how to just speak, especially as my North Node is on my third house as well, and Gemini is just about to touch it. So now's the time where I just have to be able to speak everything that I hold myself back from speaking, especially Scorpio risings as well. You guys may struggle with that, be it with your with Libra being in your 12th house. You know, like, there's times when you will say what you need to say, but when it comes to like the deep emotional things and whatever, and things that are quite, oh, this is a bit vulnerable, this is a bit touchy, no, you're not going to really tread on that line, because you know you want to try and maintain that balance, because you don't know how the floodgates will burst open when it does, right? So why was I even saying all of this? This is what I mean. My Gemini man is just going all over the place. I feel like a balloon right now. I literally feel like a balloon. But again, I told you guys that I'm just going to be flowing all over today. What else is here? Sometimes I get trapped in the light show, to be honest. How do we change the script? Choice. That you change the script first by intentional choice, and then by action. So I even did a video about generational curses versus the choice to break the cycle. Now, we can, if you have the expectation that something's going to break, it's not going to break if you're not actually doing something to actively, like, let me put it in a different example so that you can kind of get it. So for example, if you say you're trying to break the cycle so that the next generation is born free of generational karma, breaking that chain or changing the script would mean that you have to be the example. It doesn't mean expecting that they will be the change, because how can they be the change if they've never had any reference points and they've never had any examples to show them what that change actually is, or give any type of indication? So hence why I make sure that I do my work, and it's my work is separate from my child. Like, and I'm so glad that a lot of my work that I did it came before my child. But yeah, literally the essence is just like making a choice and acting upon it, like acting upon the change, right? So say for example, if your script has always been poverty, so what are you going to do to change the script of poverty? Are you just going to be sitting down and being like, universe, change my poverty? Or are you going to be looking at, actually, I need to be looking at ways I can budget myself, ways that I can increase my income, ways that I can invest and expand my income? That's breaking the cycle. That's changing the script by doing something different. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Is not gonna happen. You're gonna keep getting the same equation. So I hope that answers your question. We going live on live, baby. Yeah. We can expand and create new markets. Yes. Do you know how much new potential markets can be created right now? Like, now is a time, remember I've been saying this is a time of a quantum shift, quantum leap, all that kind of stuff. Innovation. Like, this is a time to be innovative and literally create your own avenue for yourself that now becomes a trend. Right? You've had enough foresight to go ahead, or insight to go ahead and create something that you know that 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, it's really going to pick up and you're going to be the leader of a new trend, right? There's so many opportunities to be able to do that right now with this Aquarian energy, because it's bringing out a lot of that individuality. It's bringing out the individuality, because this is what I guess the polarity between Leo and Aquarius, because Leo is very inspirational. Remember what I was saying earlier about the mold or the image. Leo would be the image. Sorry, my nose. Leo would be the image, right? Or the image of, you know, what people would like to be able to merge themselves in. Sorry, my nose. I don't know why I keep getting this congestion. Can't even talk properly. But Aquarius is not afraid of stepping away from the mold and expressing more of its authenticity and expressing more of its uniqueness, its unique qualities. It's more wild. It's more carefree. I'll come back to that, Nikki. Sorry, I'm just literally coming through the thingy. So yeah, Aquarius is gonna be a time, or this age of Aquarius is a time where, and you're gonna notice as well going forward that all of this division between us in terms of religion, philosophies, ideas, a lot of these things are going to begin to become diminished or non-relevant, because these are the things that are actually dividing us, our philosophies, our religions, our this. If we recognize, actually, we're all on the same flex here. You may not be saying the same thing, but I feel you. I feel you, you feel me, and we can see where, you know, like, we can, you know, connect or you know, like, find commonality. This is the age that we're moving into, and it doesn't mean to say, please get this whole thing of oneness out of your mind. It's not about oneness. We're not becoming one. We're becoming individual, and individuals within a collective, right? We can't overlook our individuality, and this is what the system wants you to do, so that you can literally become a robot. Like, literally, you have clones of each other, because it's easier to control when you've got a robot. You know what you're dealing with, right? This is why Aquarius is very chaotic. Like, you don't really know how to really take it. It just is what it is. You don't know what you might. I might want to, you know, not wash my skin today and then be OCD tomorrow. Like, it's very unpredictable. Very, very unpredictable energy. So, or spontaneous. That we're coming into a level of spontaneity. And that's been missing, because we're afraid of our spontaneity, because we're so busy concerned on perfection. The perfection of the image, the perfection of what I look like, how people receive me, what are they gonna say? Like, we need to learn to be a bit more rigid around the edges, or a bit more rough around the edges. Like, that is authentic. This is why I'm not really concerned about my channel, and the aesthetics of my channel. Yeah, okay, I'm using them off my phone. Good enough quality. Okay, I don't have the YouTube background. I don't have, like, all of the typical things that you would see from a YouTuber or someone who's, like, fitting that mold. I don't have that. I'm doing what I'm doing when I can, like, and it works for me because I want people to see my journey more than anything. The journey means more. Like, the journey has more value than just being able to come up and be like, yeah, guys, you know, I can tell you this, I can tell you that, I can tell you this. And this is what people are not realizing. And going back to the whole branding thing, you may be an expert in something, or you may be a specialist in something, and you can get online and you can talk about or talk at your audience about this thing, which is cool, but they want to be able to connect with you. Like, how did you get to a place where you could formulate this type of mindset? How did you get to a place where you could be so strong? Like, I need to understand how you became this brand. And this is what social media, and especially YouTube, is here for. And you see me sharing my story, you see me sharing like my journey and the stuff that has happened. Really, that's all I'm concerned about right now, because like, this is how you get to see the real person as opposed to the polished person. Like, if I came to you guys and was just like, yeah guys, everything is well, like last month when I did the video about I still got another part of that video to upload though, when I did the video about emotions, but even the one about PTSD, like I did that purposely whilst I was feeling the way I was feeling, because I wanted to allow myself to be vulnerable enough to people to recognize that I'm a human being. And I do, as much as when I speak, a lot of people can be inspired by what I say, I still have to go through my own processes every day too. Like, so don't put me on this pedestal like I'm some guru, because I don't want to be even if I had the abilities of guru status, I wouldn't even want to have that title, because what good does it even do me? How you, like, in fact, what is a guru? What is a master? Because you're always on a journey, you're always journeying, right? So at what point did you become a master? What point is your journey finished? That's what I would like to know. Because this whole master astrologer, master this, guru, nanak, all of this stuff, like, it's really irritating to me. Because I'd like to understand the psychology, or what ranks do you need to hit to become a master healer, or a master astrologer, or master whatever. Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, please, someone enlighten me. Like what is going on here? Let me continue to go through your messages. Next paycheck, I'm gonna check out reputable video editing software so I can create a better tutoring and language content. Yeah, definitely. Do you do lives at the moment? Because even going live and like just building your presence initially, because this is another thing that people kind of get out. Like, when you launch your stuff, like, or when you when everything is ready, that's when you launch. Like, this video right now that you guys are watching is my 100th video. I said to myself that I would give myself 100 videos before I even started my marketing strategy. I've literally just been having fun on my channel for the last 9 months, guys. Like, obviously I've had a little bit of a plan, and obviously to be able to optimize my growth on my channel. But now you see why I'm bridging into the content that I really, really want to go into, which is entrepreneurship, branding, astrology. But what I actually really want to move into is merging astrology and business. So being able to show people how you can use astrology to optimize your business, to tap into trends, to tap into you're understanding your staff and understanding who you're recruiting and understanding when is the best time to launch a campaign and understand like all of these different types of things are useful and necessary for our business. The corporate companies, you think they ain't got astrologers on their teams? How do you think this whole thing is happening right now? How do you think all of these CEOs drop down just before the C word? You think they don't know astrology? Whoo! Time of the changing of the gods. Yes, and the gods. I'm actually an Aries sun as well. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be very instrumental for you. It'd be interesting to see what's see your chart and see where Aries is falling in your chart, what house, because that how you can even check it up yourself. Go to astro.com, and if you need a bit of clarity of how astrology works, also guys, I'm editing the Virgo video as well. I'm hoping to put it out by tomorrow. But yeah, there's a whole astrology series on my channel that I'm beginning to start to help you guys to understand your chart a bit more. But for everyone actually, go to astro.com and put in your birth chart information and see where Aries is falling in your chart, because that's what is going to be activated on the new moon. Excuse me. That area of life is going to be activated on the new moon. And if you don't know the houses, go back to my houses video, and it will break down the different houses so you understand what house means what, and then you can correlate it to your chart. But yeah. So Poetry Alchemist, I'm telling you, I've been building and nurturing my brand since I got fired June last year after I threw up those juices at retail. I never looked back, and I'm so damn happy. Listen, you know what? Well done to you, because that's another thing what this energy is about. Aries is also an energy of bravery, and it's an energy of courage. So those that are going to be, this is a time where you need to take the leap. Or you're going to be forced to take the leap. I didn't even finish my story. Damn, guys, this is why I struggle as a Gemini. This is why I actually need to write notes to keep me on track. Remind me to finish off my story about what's it called? Now I've just lost the bloody story. Baby brain is so real. I tell you. Baby brain is so real. Oh, of how I started astrology. That's it. Because I was actually forced to do it. Or how I started my business. It was out of a place of force. And I also I was told to start my business in astrology and to start doing readings, and to literally, because I'll be around my friends and I'll be like, oh, can you do a reading for me? You know how, anyone who's a reader and you've got your friends around you, it's like, yeah, can you do a reading for me? And I'll do those readings and I'll get my practice up, and then people will be like, why are you not doing this as a job? And I'll continually kept having people saying that to me, to the point where I had no choice, because work dried up at that time, and I was quite sick at the time, and yeah, I was forced to take that leap of faith. So a lot of you now, looking at the current climate, we're going to be forced to take that leap of faith into business, because it is a fearful thing to do, because the reality is, like, and I'm probably going to do a video about the pros and cons of self-employment versus employment, because even though a lot of people pump up self-employment and entrepreneurship, there's a lot more pros, or there is a lot of pros in employment, like stability, like how much, like you don't know how much you're going to get each month, especially if you're a freelancer. Things are very erratic, especially at the beginning. Things like having to sort out your own tax and stuff like that. There is a lot of cons that can be considered, that if you're like, do I have the time for this? Employment would probably be a better option for you. It's not for everyone, and I think it's important to say that, because a lot of people can feel very out of place and like not feel like they have a purpose because they don't have that business element of themselves or that entrepreneurship element on themselves. And I will say this as well, it's okay, like everyone's trying to be like number one of like CEO and business owner and big boss and this, you know, it's okay to be like the assistant. It's okay to be, you know, the PA. These are also things that are very, very valuable. You don't have to be the number one. You don't have to be the CEO. Like, what makes the CEO? The PA, right? The assistant. So let's not think that the only option is to become like your own business owner or only, you know, be an entrepreneur, because again, it doesn't resonate with everyone. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone has the ability to do it. Not everyone has the skill for it or the art for it. Like there's a lot of these things. So don't feel like if you are struggling, it doesn't mean to say that you're not good at business or you're not supposed to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you need to sharpen up on your skills, which is something that happened with me. When I started to sharpen up on my skills in business and marketing, I went on a good few courses, like twice, like because I wanted to understand this world. I wanted to get a bit more into my left brain. I'm not a left brain person. Like I'm really like I'm extremely I'm very creative. I love to be in that side of myself. So this was an extreme challenge for me to be able to even learn this area. I used to say like this was like what I used to call it ology. Anything that like is technical or geology, geography, technology, psychology. I used to say that those ones are too out there for me because there's a lot of like mental processing you have to do to kind of understand that, whereas me as a creative, as a musician, as a singer, I can just open my mouth. That's my job. I can just move my fingers. That's my job. Right? I'm used to that type of thing. So this was a challenge for me, and so I'm saying this because it's going to be a challenge for a lot of you to begin to sharpen up on the necessary skills that will put you in a position where you need to be, or where you desire to be, or where you see yourself to be. And this is why I really feel inspired to really work with, in particular, creative entrepreneurs and spiritual entrepreneurs, because the ground is not there. The strategy is not there. And once we begin to put these things in place, we'll recognize, or we'll begin to realize how good your business actually is and what the potential of it actually is. We're missing out on a lot of opportunities because we don't understand what we're actually doing. We don't understand that even for your taxes, you can claim back so much stuff. So I'll give you an example. So those of you who would be coming on the spa retreat that I'm doing in December, because this is business development and development for you to be able to do whatever you're doing, that is a business expense. It's training. So all of your courses, all of your sessions, booking of coaches, these are things that you can write off as business expenses in your taxes, but you don't research to understand that these are things that you can do. Right? So, like, whilst you'll see a coach and you'll be like, I can't afford them. You're not even paying for them. You will get it back in your tax, right? These are investments that you can make into yourself and be because you're a business, can benefit from that. So definitely look into these areas. Let me see. No, I've read that. Draperies and bedding, mostly my husband does concrete. Okay, so draperies. So yeah, that's imagery right there. Instagram hot, because you can basically show visuals or display visuals of the type. Pinterest as well as another visual app. Really capitalizing on those, but don't only use those two platforms. Like introducing this is where you can introduce YouTube and like show you making these draperies, so that those who are inspired in going into this area can learn how to be able to do it. So you're now providing value, and then also creating a funnel back into your business, because people see, like, if I'm watching your channel and I need drapery, then I know I can say come to you, right? This is what I mean about utilizing marketing strategies and using the different platforms and not restricting you to just one thing. Same way with concreting. So LinkedIn, people are not using LinkedIn. People need to get onto LinkedIn right now. If you're not on LinkedIn, or if you think that LinkedIn is just a CV library, then you are missing out on so much business right now. So much business. LinkedIn has literally been changed into basically a Facebook for business. And you can have access to anyone that you need in business at that time. Like, how amazing is that? Like, you can actually promote yourself to businesses and get, like, everyone on LinkedIn has money because it's business. People in business, right? So it's easier to be able to market on platforms like that, right? And LinkedIn, I would say those who will do extremely well on LinkedIn, so the coaches, consultants, anyone who clearly does B2B, but anyone anyway, because business literally is a place of business. So if someone needs business, they're going to go onto LinkedIn and find that business. So you need to be creating content that is making you visible and making you searchable, so people can actually have access to you. Like I said, putting yourself in a position where people are like the moment that someone thinks of draperies, they're going to think of your name, so they're going to come automatically to you, right? That's the type of positioning that you need to make sure that you're in. How can I find my purpose? I can do so much. I've got lost in what I actually want to focus on. Okay, so first of all, I would say, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you find yourself attracted to most of the time? What is it that you're most happy doing? What types of people do you like to be around? And if you struggle to even answer these questions, begin to ask other people, what do you notice about me? What do you notice that I'm good at? Like, is it talking to people? Am I a good advisor? Am I good at fixing people's problems? Like, really get feedback from the people who know you best if you struggle in those areas. But looking at your passions is a good way to be able to figure out what is your purpose, because it's something you have to be passionate about. And then obviously a step further, looking from an astrological perspective, when you look into your 10th house, your 10th house basically shows you your career. Your 5th house basically will show you what your passions and your leisures, and you basically be able to see what direction you will be what most influences you to go in a particular area. So what was I going to say? I was going to say something. happening again, guys. You're gonna have to bear with me. This Saturn on the 3rd house does not help me at all. And I literally think it's happening worse because I'm in my Saturn return, actually. Like, it's actually really annoying. In fact, I should have taken the frankincense. Anyone who struggles with that and with brain fog or anything to do with mental stuff, frankincense, making sure that it's pure grade certified essential oil, and putting a drop of that underneath your tongue does so much for you. Right. Yeah, so basically I was saying that your chart would also be able to bring more insight into what is your purpose, but I've just given you a way of how to be able to find it yourself, so it can kind of stimulate some ideas in you. Hopefully that helps. Poetry Alchemist, I already got that, a full writing course, homework, and studying help Japanese 1 and 2 online classrooms. Okay, so you're actually getting jobs in you're getting like international jobs of tutoring as well. And you're saying that you've already got a full writing course or service. Sorry, it's hard for me to kind of grab everything out of these messages. Tion, thank you so much for sharing. I've literally just received my sign from you. I don't know why I was so blind to it. Oh, do you know what? I'm so grateful for you, Tion. Yeah, a lot of the time these things are just in our face. Maybe we're not paying attention. Maybe we're trying to look in other ways because we never think it could be in that way, in that area. So, you know, this is what everything I do, and even like through astrology and all these things, it should only be a confirmation of the things that you already know about yourself. Like, I shouldn't be telling you anything new. Like, it should be stuff that maybe you may not have had full clarity of, or may not have been able to see how that sequence to that and how that sequence to that, but it should be something that you already know. Like, so if someone's literally gonna come out to you and be like, and tell you something that's completely foreign to you and be like, right, you're meant to be an airport a pilot, and you're like, okay, don't now be like, oh, okay, that's what I'm meant to be. This is how you peep out frauds as well. Oh Lord, I think I'm getting tired now. I'm just gonna start being silly. Is it true we're not even the worst of how bad coronavirus will get yet? No, we're not, because even looking at, like I said, the new moon in Aries has Mars conjunct Jupiter, so a lot of developments and stuff is literally gonna start happening really quickly. And you notice that the military and the army has started to get involved. That's Aries element or Aries energy. Aries rules Aries and Mars rules military, conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is society. So there's a lot of tensions that is going to be fuel between these, and I feel like it's really going to spark up in America. I really feel like I did say this, I don't know if I said this on a live before, but I said that the UK and America is two completely different energies and cultures and locations. So as much as we're going to be under similar influences, it's not going to play out the same way. But yeah, there's going to be some developments that are going to happen very, very quickly. And it's interesting that the closer we get to the new moon is now that California starts to shut down, as they were one of the places that were highlighted in this solar eclipse. So I instinctively knew that when something happened to California, then some shit is really about to go down, because like, yeah, it's just time. It's just really time. So I would say definitely pay attention. Again, nothing to be afraid of, because like I was saying at the beginning, these are psyops, right? they are, even the very fact that they're saying to you, we advise you to stay at home, but then you're going around saying, oh, we're locked down, the whole country's locked down. Pay attention to what's going on here, right? This is a real psychological game that I don't think many people are actually paying attention to. Yeah, got to do those SWOTs, learn your segments, 4Ps and 5Cs. Exactly. Got to get to the beginning of some business basics, SWOT analysis, all that kind of stuff. Mainly kitchen magic and researching the old ways and history. Then I'm diving into ancient mythologies. Okay, so maybe like even through researching all of these mythologies and archetypes, some stuff will get evoked in you, because that's kind of what happened to me when I started studying astrology and going into mythology and all this kind of stuff. Things just started to just get sparked, and I'm an adept. So a lot of my things, a lot of my gift, in fact, my gifts, I was not taught. I was not taught my gift. I remembered my gifts, literally. Like, this is how like things became to activate so abruptly for me, because these are things that I'm like, I already know how to do this. This is just natural. And so when I was actually when I would even do certain rituals, I remember when I would look at books and I'd be like, okay, this is a ritual, but my spirit is telling me to do it this way, and I'll do it that way and I'll get a result. And it's not to say that you probably would, like, I feel like you get more results when you actually tap into your own personal magic. Like, you're not, I was saying this to who was I speaking to before this? I think it was Nick. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. I had a lot of phone calls today. The witch. So when you look at the witch and the cauldron, what does that actually mean, right? When you go into a coven, they have a cauldron, and they basically, this cauldron is representative of the collective knowledge of this coven, right? So all of the experiences of their own individual initiations, they now collectively put this in a cauldron, and this cauldron is representative of this mix that has been created, and all of this knowledge and bloodlines and all that kind of stuff. So when you start to tap into spells and things that people have already created, you're tapping into their karma. You're tapping into their shit, right? You don't want any attachments to that. You want your own shit, right? You don't want to be, you know, you don't want any types of attachments. The most powerful magic comes from yourself, and the most powerful magic doesn't need no tools. The most powerful magic comes from your mind. This is what I had to learn. Like, when all my spiritual equipment was taken, when I lost my home and everything, right? And when I was locked up in the mental health thing for 7 weeks and couldn't use anything, I had to learn to use my mind. I had to learn how to use my throat chakra too. Using your voice. Use your mind, use your voice, use your body. I was saying to someone else today, because the astrals has crashed, there is no longer a veil between the astrals and the third dimensions. There is no veil. This is why everything that's playing out right now in real life, like in 2020, is fucking freaking me out, because this is everything I saw in the astrals in 2017. So now I'm seeing this all crash and play out in front of me. And I'm just like, fuck, this is actually really freaky, right? But the thing is, now, because of this crash, this is why last year when we was in that whole Virgo stellium in September, and I was like, it's time to get really grounded into your bodies, really get grounded into your realities, I was like, yeah, astral projection and all that kind of stuff doesn't work no more because there is no split between the dimensions. So now you have to be in a place where you're mentally controlling what's going on in the astrals, because this is the astrals, but also practically bringing it down on earth. How do you move it? If anyone's seen OA, listen, OA was literally my story I was living out. And you guys who've heard my story, you know, I was creating these hand actions that I was doing, that I was like energetically bringing into 3D. That was my ritual. I didn't have no crystals. I didn't have no lodestones. I didn't have no St. John's wort. I didn't have no hot foot powder. Didn't have none of those things. I had my mind and I had my body. Like, when we start to utilize these things, this is when we will really start to tap into the essence of our power and tapping into the fullness of our potential. Right now, we're cheating our potential because we feel like we have to be externalizing our power into all of these tools. The concept of a statue. I only started really deep in this recently. A statue, or when you have a deity, so even like this, you've got Ganesha here, right? So this is Ganesha. However, I don't worship Ganesha because I recognize Ganesha is in me. This trunk or this head, this is your brain. This is actually what your brain looks like. So when you look at Ganesha and you see that he is the remover of obstacles and the bringer of abundance, it's your mind. Because your mind is your biggest block. It's your biggest sabotager of abundance. And once we begin to have control of the mind, that's when we begin to unravel and come into the freedom aspect of things. Let me continue to go back through the comments because I know there's a lot of comments coming through. Yeah. Where are the rest of the comments? Okay. Tarian songs. Go back to what you were saying about the changing of the gods. Nikki, can you remind me exactly what I was saying about it? Because I need to know exactly what you wanted me to be able to touch on. Jolie, this is a little off track, but do you have any advice for people who work at home and struggle to keep focused and confident? Okay, so focused and confident. So really optimizing your productivity. So one thing that you can use is and this is what I do every day now. I actually wanted to do a video about this, and you know what, shout out to Erin on Demand on YouTube. She's so dope if you guys don't know her, but she in the concept of having a top 3 every day. So especially for creatives, it's quite muggy in the mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I got this and this and this and this and this to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get all of these things done in a time. No, it's about learning how to prioritize the top 3 things that you need to be able to accomplish for the day. So if you do that, I'm not good at maths and I'm going to make myself look very stupid right now, but 6 times 7 is exactly how many things that you can actually get done. In fact, let me actually get the calculator out because that is so poor. That is so poor. So 3 times 7, right? Where's the calculator? 3. What? Where's my calculator? Calculator. Because also as well, I say this as well. If you can remove at least half of the I can't be bothered that you say each day, we can actually increase our productivity. Right, 42. So you could actually accomplish 42 things. I know that, guys, maths is not my high point. I just tell you that from now. we got fudge in school. But we got everything good in the creative and music and media studies. I was good. Everything else was loud. But yeah, so pick a top 3 for every day. Pick the topmost things that are that require the most priority, and also pick the things that is almost the hardest things to do, because I'm a procrastinator of things that I need to be doing. I'll pick like the quickest and easiest and most fun tasks first and leave all the other ones last, and then this is how you end up piling up stuff that you actually need to be doing. So definitely go for a process of priority, and introduce stuff like power hours, because sometimes I can get distracted as well. So literally put yourself in a position where you're like, right, hour on the clock, I'm just gonna focus, work through, do everything I need to be doing, turn off my phone, like distractions off. I've got this hour dedicated to what I need to do. And you can even do intermittent power hours. Working from home is quite difficult because obviously you're having to manage yourself and you're having to be very self-disciplined, because, you know, especially if working from home is something that you're not actually used to, it'd be easy for you to just get distracted because you've always been in a work environment. But you have to be able to just manage yourself by, you know, picking your power hours, making sure that you're just dedicating everything to that, and just being a bit more don't be so hard on yourself. This is why you keep it to like 3 things a day that you can accomplish, because if you be unrealistic with those targets, you're going to feel like you haven't achieved anything. So yeah, I'm hoping that answered your question. Exactly, all boundaries are mental if you really think about it. Of course, I started creating boundaries like when I was in, and I've spoken about this before, when the whole mental health thing was happening, and I would literally I created my an invisible cloak for myself. Like I envisioned myself in an invisible cloak, no, in a bubble surrounded by an invisible cloak. And I told you about what happened, where the guy literally broke in and was like, find me, like, and it was such a weird situation to be going through. But and it's actually happened to me twice before where I've been able to do that. But this is what I mean, like, your mind is your activator, right? All of the things that you thought was impossible, look at Lucy, right? Who's watched Lucy? Who's watched Limitless? They've already told you that we're only tapping into like what, 10% of our brain capacity. Like, the more that we tap into our potential, the potential of your mind, the potential of your brain, that's when you'll begin to change realities, because that is actually what's the projector of your reality. Hi Queen City, hope you're well. Poetry Alchemist says mastery is the constant and consistent growth from learning. Say that. In fact, let me say that again. Mastery is the constant and consistent growth from learning. You don't just become a master. You have to learn. You had to have been learning. Like, to get your master's degree, you would have had to have gone through all of your other degrees to have got to your master, right? And even then, like, this is why I actually love astrology, because even though, say, when you look at anaretic degrees or critical degrees, 29th degree in particular, it's a master degree. So it's a degree of mastery where you're mastering the lessons of that particular sign. But then you still got to learn the other side. You still got to learn whatever 0 degrees is, whatever that sign is. So say for example you're 29 degrees Leo, you still got to learn Virgo. You still got to learn the practicality. Still got to learn the discernment and the filters rather than being too exposed. This is how this works out, and this is why I love astrology, because it really brings the humility in when you know how to utilize these sciences. Like, no master. And Amy said, "Ooh." Amy says, "You're so smart and talented. The stuff you put out and you're still, the stuff you put out and hesitant makes me feel more intimidated to start a channel or something because I'm nowhere close to that level." Do you know what? First of all, thank you, Amy, for that message. I really appreciate that. I guess I'm sad to hear that you would say that you're intimidated to start it because of that. Because, I mean, I appreciate that you guys appreciate the stuff that I put out. And yeah, it took me a lot to get to this place, but I want you guys to actually realize that you don't have to be at where I am. Like, find the value in where you are. You don't even need to be talking about the things I'm talking about, and this is where authenticity comes in, because like, someone, say for example Pluto Queen, for anyone who knows Astro Pluto Queen, so she is more into sextrology, astro styling. She's the one who I did the live with today. Like, we're both astrologers. Not today, a few months ago. It's on my channel. Don't know what I'm talking about. So we're both astrologers, but we tap into two different areas. She's more knowledgeable on those things because that's what she taps into, so she capitalizes on that. Whereas I'm more into like the deep self-discovery and like digging deeper into like past lives and learning your subconscious patterns and learning how to break out of those patterns and stuff. That's my angle. And I guess it's just really knowing your niche, knowing what your niche is and what your message is, and what value you're actually bringing to the world. You can just your perspective, your experiences, those are values. Don't feel like you have to be an expert or someone like up there or whatever. You don't have to. Like, there's so many people that are doing so well on YouTube because they're just sharing their story, that they're sharing stories or information that people can relate to on an everyday level. They're not trying to be higher than they are or bigger than they are. They're just being exactly who they are. So once you begin to see the beauty in what you can offer the world individually, because we all have gems to offer the world. No one doesn't have a gem. Even if you're a cleaner or a dustbin. Do you know what? There's a guy, and I've said this before, there's a guy who's a security guard at my local co-op. And this guy brings a smile on my face every single time. I'm telling you, he's like the Bible says that sometimes you'll come across angels unaware, and I'm telling you, he's like an angel in physical manifestation that was just sent here to just make me smile every time I see him. And he always says hello and asks how I am and whatever, but it's just the energy that he comes with. That could be his gem. He's a security guard. He may not want to be a CEO or some big person or whatever. Probably never be on YouTube, but he's given a gem to me, and it gives a gem to everyone that he meets. And so it's just understanding what value do you offer to the world, even if it's just a smile. Do you know how valuable a smile is? Do you know how valuable peace is? Just being able to bring peace and happiness to people. You don't have to be someone in like highly knowledgeable to be able to do that. So let's kind of make this journey a little bit more simpler by just bringing it down to the nitty gritty. Like, what value can I offer the world? Like, we don't have to feel an imposter about that, because we know that that's valuable. Tion said, thank you. I used to be in all this stuff, but someone got religious beliefs into in my head and made me believe this is bad, but I feel lost without it. See, this is the journey that you're having to filter through, and also having to filter through a process of feeling like other people can have say over you. Why does why are you now doubting because someone has said something? This is where deeper connection with self will be able to really support you in this time, because once you're sure with yourself, like that's what I had to do. This is actually why I actually separated myself and went I went off the radar for 6 months. No one could find me, talk to me. I didn't want to talk to no one, didn't go nowhere, stayed in my yard, just figuring out what this shit was all about. And I had to just really learn to just go deep into myself and be like, what resonates true? What is truth? Because I did a video on my channel a few months ago, and it was like, truth is something that resonates. Truth is not something that needs to be discovered or found. It resonates. So the moment you're exposed to truth, you'll know whether something is actually resonating or whether something is actually repelling you to it. But you have to go into self rather than into the mind. The mind will always trick you. And this is why the heart chakra is the most powerful, is a very, very powerful chakra, because I call this the seat of truth. Your heart will never lie to you. This is where you can tune into your inner voice. When you begin to form stronger relationships with your inner voice, your inner intuition, your inner, even your solar plexus, this is your gut. This is another form of your intuition. When you begin to form, and even your root, like really grounding into your root, this is really the building up of your identity. When you begin to tap into these areas, no one can tell you anything. Like, and it's also recognizing, I think I needed to say this earlier, or someone I needed to say this to, but recognizing that you can create your own system. The way that religions has been presented is that you have to take the religion and everything in the religion, and then you classify yourself a Christian, a Muslim, or whatever. And this is how people are like, no, you're not a real Muslim, you're not a real Christian. This is a time where you're like, right, I'm going through my pick and mix. I pick this, I pick that, I pick that, I pick that. Now this is my system, and this is what I'm going to operate by. This is what I resonate with. This is what makes sense to me, because what makes sense to me may not make sense to you. But it's okay to be able to develop your own system. But this is where the embracing the journey allows us to become a little bit more easy and less anxious, because I, for one, I have Jupiter in Cancer in my 9th. I'm always on a process of self-discovery and really discovering, okay, who am I? What am I meant to be? All of that. Like, that is me. And I found that the moment that I now I just lost my whole train of thought again. This is really bad, guys. Really irritates me the way that my brain starts to do this. What was I saying? I can't even remember. What was I saying? But yeah, essentially, you have to learn how to formulate your own system separate from everyone else, and be solid in that system, because no one else can give you the truth. You have to find that truth for yourself, because it's inside. Literally pull it all out, discover it. Like tonight, write some questions like to yourself to really dig deeper into what is it that you really believe. My Aries is in 6th house with Ketu in it. Damn, that south house, well, this is the thing. The 6th house with the south node in there, like that means that not holding yourself from actually going out and doing exactly what you need to do. Like, you know, even going out and setting up your platforms, and that, like, that in itself can become a hindrance. Not being able to um sometimes feeling like everything has to be together and in a specific way, because the sixth house resonates with Virgo, like that perfectionist type attitude. But then you're like, okay, but creativity wants to expand, it wants to be, it just wants to flow. And then your Virgo will kind of step in and be like, yeah, but you haven't done this and this, and this needs to look this way, and da, 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 da. Make sure you don't do that. Okay, make sure you don't do that. Poetry Alchemist said it already has, some states already considered or enacted martial law. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. America is gonna be very interesting, but again, I feel I still don't feel fair. I still don't feel fair. I still feel there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of stuff. I feel like, yeah, they're just using a lot of psyop stuff to kind of cover up the truth that what potentially, or what, like, they'll use the army and the martial law because everyone's scared, everyone's conspiracy theorists now, and like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna throw us into concentration camps. I literally feel like this is a clearing up of the karma of the 30s and the 40s, when the Great Depression happened and Hitler and all that kind of stuff. I feel like there's a lot of karma being healed, which is why I don't feel like it's going to play out the same way. They thought they could play it out a specific way, or they had a plan to play it out a specific way. But I feel like things can't operate the way that they expected for it to operate again. But they have to make you believe like it is, which is why I say pay attention. Like, it's a proper, full-on psyop. Well, Prince George, Kate's son, is a Scorpio. That means he'll deal with that collective family karma. Well, it depends on where his I'll probably look at his chart, actually, because I'm a Scorpio moon in the first house, Pluto on the first, Pluto conjunct my moon. Like, I'm carrying a lot of maternal karma, and I feel like a lot of my karma, a lot of maternal karma, that Creole karma, because some of us matriarchs along that line have been very treacherous in our past. So I definitely carry on that karma in my bloodline that I'm having to clear, because that was me, right? Because anyone in your bloodline, that was you. You have been that. You've been there. You're now here. Like, it's in your blood. So you'll see a lot of karma kind of play out that way. Same with Buddha. I have a statue of Siddhartha, but I worship or follow the teachings. When I see the statue, I see the electromagnetic and energetic bodies. Yes, even going back to the statue thing. So what I was essentially trying to say is that the statue is the housing for energy that you place in. Like, it's not just a statue. It's a container of energy that you place, because you're evoking that yourself. So when you see this should be reminding you of your own mental power, because that's all it is. It's not anything that's external from yourself. It is you. Hi Sophia. Hi AZ Films. Do you even value truth? Maybe you think it's your interest to be complacent so you don't lose anything. Do you value truth? Maybe you think it's in your interest to be complacent. Well, I guess that's a point. Yeah, I guess it's, you know what, it's a scary journey of truth seeking. But yeah, you have to value your own truth. And when you and valuing your own truth comes with valuing self-love, self-value. When you learn how to put more value on yourself than external things and external people, then that's when you'll really begin to tap into this deeper truth, because you're then bringing more focus to self. Hi Christine, greetings one and all, bliss, peace and love. Hello. One thing for certain, our lives will never be the same again. Facts, completely. Like, and I'm totally here for it. Like, I'm so excited for this future. And I just said, like, I've got loads of Venus trines, so all this economy fairs and stuff, I'm good. I am so good. Like, I'm so good. And you guys should be seeing yourself as good too. Like, when you start to plan ahead, like, and create strategy, like, I'm so glad. Because, like, some people were confused. Like, why is she just going into digital marketing now? I thought she was, going on this whole self-discovery. No, there's a method to my madness. And I've seen the trends to know that these are the things that will be able to benefit me going forward. So I already know that business is about to boom in a crazy way, because I've positioned myself in an optimum position, and I'm just here to see it play out. Like, there's people benefiting from this C word right now in many different ways, whether on stock market, whether it's a new business that they can, or whether it's a business that they can now, or a market that they can now tap into. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. His hotel. Why do you think he gave his hotel up to be quarantined? Now it's a B2G business. There's no consumers that's going to be taking or booking any flight, any holiday or hotel rooms or anything. Sell it out to B2G. So what types of B2G, or what types of government, what type of assistance can you give the government right now in dealing with this whole crisis? How can your business be a solution in this crisis, that you can be able to secure some contracts? And, like, that's what I mean. Like, just really there's so many opportunities out here right now, and we just need to look and see what is already in front of us. It's a new world. It's I literally was gonna sing Aladdin, a whole new world, but I'm actually tired. I'll probably sound like a croak right now. But yeah, this is just a very exciting time to be alive. And, like I keep saying, fuck what you heard. Like, don't take in all of these fears, because these people are so wild. There's so much contradictions. I saw an article that was just like, okay, if we don't panic, this will all be over in 12 weeks. But then there's other articles, oh, this is going to be going on for the remainder of the year. We're going to have social distancing for the year. Which one is it? This is why I said they're playing games. They're playing games with you. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, they're playing games with your mind. Like, all of these contradictions, they don't even know what they're saying. I pick a story. So don't allow yourself to be food in this craziness right now. You're not food. Okay? It's time to be sovereign. It's time to be sovereign. So I want to get going, because it's been almost 2 hours now, and I need to go get some food. But I will be doing, I've let you guys know, I've got a live that will be coming up with Osset next week as well, which is going to be interesting. I know some of you guys have been like, oh, when are you guys are going to be able to connect and do another live again? 25th, guys, 25th. That's when you guys will be able to see that. It'll be over on Osset's channel, Lucid Living TV. So make sure you're subscribed over there. What other announcements do I have? Yeah, so if you guys do want to be able to book any sessions with me for astrology readings, or even now with I will be launching some services over the next coming days with regards to digital marketing and rebrand, helping you guys to be able to rebrand your businesses. And And also the True Self project. Oh my gosh, guys, I still need to be able to do a whole new live, and I've got content scheduled to go into the archetypes, the feminine archetypes of the seven feminine archetypes, and really digging into exploring that, so you get to understand a bit more about these archetypes before we actually get to the spa retreat in December. It'll be I can't announce who I could potentially be getting down and things. When I can announce that, I will. But just I'm just letting you know that you guys will definitely not be disappointed. Yeah, so for any international bookings, I will be doing discounts for international bookings and group bookings. We are also working alongside with a travel agent he's so dope. Like, he's got us like the best rates, everything. Like, he's so dope. And so for anyone else who actually wants to be doing a retreat, because I know there's a lot of people who want to be doing their own retreats going forward and stuff, definitely connect with Inori Soul and travel counselors. You can, if you need their information, you can contact me and I can forward that across to you. But they are definitely awesome. And a bit about the retreat. So the retreat is so it's for women, and it's centered around self-discovery and personal branding. Now, the reason why I'm merging these two together is again connected to what I've been speaking about earlier with this whole kind of lack of authentic branding within businesses, and it's mainly because people don't actually understand who they are. So if we could bring the core of understanding back to businesses, then we can really shape out their brands a bit more effectively and make sure that there's more of self, more personality being expressed through their content, through their business, through their messages, all of that type of stuff. So really just Brady homing into the authenticity of what it is that you actually do. So this retreat is going to be literally a transformational weekend where let me talk about the day. So we've got day one. Day one will be a musical locking or creative locking. This is going to be very, very interesting. For anyone who's musicians or been to church, you've been in that whole kind of environment where music has just been a very instrumental place where you can just reflect and really tap into self. We'll be creating that same environment, just not church and not religion. We will be singing, we'll be doing music, we'll be doing personal mantra, we'll be doing mantras, all that kind of stuff. Literally, I'm looking full band, singers, whole experience. Obviously, I'm a singer, so I'm gonna want to have the best there. So that's gonna be an interesting night in itself. You guys can dance, you guys can draw, you guys can paint. It's just a free time. There's no structure to this. It's literally just let's be, explore, reflect, and see what comes of this. This is just the beginning night. Then we move into the second day, whole day of workshops. We've got morning yoga, we've got sensual dancing. So if you guys are not even confident with yourself and in being able to do sensual dancing, I'm still encouraging you to bring out your bodysuit, bring out your hot pants, whatever you need to bring out, and just make sure that this is how we can learn to become a bit more confident with our body and how we express ourselves. Really tapping into that deep sacral chakra work. Or we're doing that with the sacral with the sensual dancing. But also we've got the catwalk, right? So the catwalk is going to be catwalking your true self. So I've asked you guys if you guys have seen the advertisements, I've asked you guys to look at or pick 3 archetypes that you mostly resonate with, and you're going to dress for that archetype. I mean, to the nines. Like, what does this archetype look like? So if she's the businesswoman, if she's the boss woman, she's got to come bossed up completely, right? If she's the sexy woman, she's got to come completely sexy out, like, you know. So this is the opportunity where we're fully going to be able to just push ourselves into that person who we've always been, right? So then we've got the catwalk, and this is where you can actually, the VIP packages, you can hire a makeup artist, you can hire, and also you can actually take your pictures as well, or have access to your pictures that you can use for branding. So there's a lot of value being presented in this as well. So yeah, that's day 2. I can't remember what else is going on day 2. I think there's some other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head. Then day 3, we've got vision board party. So this is where we're going to be setting intention for the year ahead, because this is around the winter solstice time. This is December. So we're going to be setting intentions for the year ahead, really getting into some deep manifestation work. And then we're going to be talking a lot about business. We're going to be talking a lot about we're going to have someone speaking about their experience of business who's been very established in their business. Within their business, they have 10 years experience of just building a whole community following, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be getting some very key insight as to how they did it, what was the things that they learned, because a lot of the times we can actually pick up a lot of gems from those that have gone ahead and gone before us, and rather than us just going out and just starting stuff. So we'll be digging into a lot of the business stuff on how we can start our businesses, and hearing from other people of how they've been able to start theirs. And then we've got the spa, right? This is what this is all about. So we'll be having the spa. There's a jacuzzi, swimming pool. There's a steam room, and a gym. There's all of that in the separate, on the other side. Everything that will be happening in our complex is all in one. We don't even need to come out of this building. Building is amazing. The beds are amazing. I've been to this venue for other retreats about 5 times already, and I always look forward to coming to this venue, because the energy is just bliss, like peaceful. There's a lake there. It's big open space, like in the heart of the British countryside. Like the beds are just so comfortable. It's just all round like such a beautiful venue that just coming there alone is just like, wow, okay, this is interesting. I feel good. I feel refreshed. So you will be having 3-course meals on the day, and everything is included in the prices. And also with some of the VIP packages, what will also be included is that you guys will also have access to up to 4 months support, I think it is, after the event. So after the event, you'll be able to have access to support that can help you in your personal and business development going forward, and really helping to structure out a plan for how you can, whether you're starting your business, how you can start your business, whether you've got a business already and just really want to know how to be able to optimize your business and learn how to grow your business. That's how you'll be able to learn from there as well. And there'll be loads of people that will be coming, powerful women in business. I'm so excited because I'm literally hearing people from all over the world, from Florida, from, New York, France, that are literally like, yeah, I really, really want to be able to come. So there's only 50 spaces. Tomorrow is when the early bird finishes and the advance tickets goes on sale. So if you want to be able to take advantage from the last early bird tickets, get in now, because tomorrow is when they will be going to advanced prices, and there's only 50 spaces available. 50 rooms, sorry. There's 50 rooms available. 25 single rooms and 25 double rooms. So definitely want to get in quickly, especially if you want to set single or double room, or you just want to make sure you set your place. I will also be doing delegate. I'll be doing delegate packages as well, where if you just want to come up for the day, you can do that as well. If you may not want to stay for the whole weekend, you may just want to come for a day. There will be opportunities for you to be able to do that as well. There's payments plans. That's all of the information is on the website www.trueselfproject.co.uk. So make sure you check out the website. And again, if you need any readings or any consultations, you can go over to the other website, www.soul-reconnection.com. So I think that's all the announcements that I had for today. I'm really tired, I'm really hungry, and I'm gonna get going. But I hope this live was really informative for you. Is it like a hot spring because of winter? Sorry, I didn't really understand what you were saying, but if you guys any information as well, you can email me on true self project info@gmail.com. And yeah, I'm hoping that this live was informative for you. Let me know below. In fact, leave some comments below on what types of topics you want me to be talking about, as I really need to be able to know what you want me to be able to be providing for you in this season. Whether it's astrology, whether it's business, whatever it is, just let me know. And I will definitely put that into my content strategy. So I thank you guys again. Remember to click like on the video, and I will see you guys on the other side.